Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630. WMAL.
7:07 on WMAL. It is brutal out there. Do be careful on the roads. We'll check in with Jamie and Lisa in just a few minutes. Jim DeMint is on the phone right now, Senator from South Carolina. Senator, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
It is awesome to talk to you yet again. Are you excited for the president's big speech tonight on jobs?
No, I don't want to make light of it or be disrespectful, but I really believe the president is being disrespectful not only to Congress but to the American people.
Why?
The first thing you need to do is put something in writing, let people see it, and he's just campaigning. This is not about jobs, is trying to buy votes with these little targeted temporary things. And I was in business most of my life, and you don't make decisions to hire people or grow your business based on some one-year program. What you need is a good environment to do business, and this president has done anything but create a good environment to do business.
Will you actually be going to the speech?
No, I don't plan to.
Okay.
Do you worry at all about Republicans not taking a hit for basically saying, show us your plan, show us your plan, show us your plan, and then not being there to hear the plan?
Well, we won't see his plan tonight. I mean,
Okay.
we'll see a lot of pages of rhetoric. But frankly, we've heard speeches before, and then when the legislation actually comes out, it's not the same thing. And part of the problem now is they've created this super Congress that is supposed to create things like some tax reform, a flat rate tax, or other things like that. And but now he's going to jump the gun because the pressure has gotten bigger. But he's created a confusing mush of economic policies, and it's reflected in what the businesses are doing and saying. They just say they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what their tax rate's going to be, their health care costs, their unemployment insurance. The president's put out hundreds of new regulations or proposed new regulations over the last couple of months. Everything that you would expect someone to do if they were trying to create uncertainty, that's what's happening right now.
I'm curious what the talk is about and how the decision came to be made to not have a GOP response to the president. I actually think it's the right decision. It's sort of against the instincts of every politician to turn down an opportunity to talk about something. Have you heard anything about why that decision was made?
Well, I wouldn't want to make a response to something that I haven't seen, and that's part of what the president wants to do. He wants to control the media spin, so we don't have anything to talk about or to analyze prior to this meeting. So he'll be saying things that aren't necessarily going to happen, or that, just like during the debt limit debate, he said, well, I'll consider some Social Security reform, but we never had anything in writing. And if you try to take something that he says to the bank, it's not going to end up being there when you need to withdraw it. So it is a very frustrating thing, and I just think the president's showing a lot of disrespect for the American people. He's crammed one thing down their throat after another, and he's promised that not only his stimulus, but Obamacare and Dodd-Frank and all of these things that spent trillions of dollars were going to help the economy, and it's not helping the economy. He's made things much, much worse. And people who were even his supporters last year are now saying he's put a big wet blanket over our economy. So, this is serious business. People are really hurting. The president's playing politics, and I just can't sit there through another speech and clap courteously when I know the president is not dealing with the real issue.
Can I ask you a question? You're a politician. I bet from time to time, perhaps, in a moment of passion, your rhetoric has got maybe just a tad overblown. It happens to the best of us. I've certainly have done that in my life. Yet, what is the norm? What is the way you respond to that after you realize, well, maybe I went a little too far?
Well, it's a great question for me because I know I've gone too far sometime. But And I started as a quiet, shy person who's been in business my life, but each time I try to ratchet up the rhetoric a level to try to disturb people. Some people in the media try to disturb the president, try to get some response. And I know sometimes it appears unkind and maybe not as civil, But I'm afraid we're about to lose our country.
What?
I really do think we're on the edge of a cliff.
I appreciate that, but I sort of want to know, when you make that decision, okay, maybe I went a little too far. What is your normal instinct? Do you sort of sometimes, I'm sorry, I got a little excited. Do you acknowledge it, or do you do what the White House has done, and in this case of Jimmy Hoffa, where he said, let's take the son of bitches out?
Yeah.
I mean, they have been given every opportunity to disavow that kind of language, and they haven't taken it.
Well, now, that's not the kind of language I'm using. I mean, I'm saying I'm outraged and frustrated and things like that. I mean, but I'm certainly haven't been profane or
right, I understand.
or threatening like that. And so I don't think I'm on the same level of...
No, I'm not suggesting. I'm just asking, isn't it the normal instinct when you realize you've done something to say, maybe that was a little much?
Well, yeah, and I've said that.
I know.
But I've also said I believe what I said was true. But I'm very uncomfortable being contentious like that. But now in Washington, we have two teams going in opposite directions. The president has taken his cues now for several years from labor bosses. And even in my own state, where you've got a Boeing trying to create thousands of new jobs, you've got the doggone administration just costing them millions of dollars in legal costs to defend their right to move to a right-to-work state. And so the outrage is hard to contain, but we do need to show that we're different than what the other side is doing with profanity, and what we're starting to see is bubbling up of violence like we saw in Wisconsin. In America, we settle things with our voices and our votes based on the right ideas, and I would encourage everyone to keep civility to what degree we can, and certainly we should not accept any level of violence or profanity or threats.
Did you watch any of the debate last night?
I came in late. I got to see just a little bit of it. This would have been the first time I got to see Rick Perry because he wasn't able to come to our forum. So I've recorded it. I hope to watch it over the weekend, but I frankly don't like that format. That's why I created the forum in South Carolina, because when the whole thing is designed to try to get Republicans sniping at each other, Americans are going to get more cynical about the whole process. But I found when I heard them talk for 15 or 20 minutes about their principles and what they really believed, that I felt a lot better about all the Republican candidates who were in South Carolina last week.
All right, Senator DeMint, good to have you on the program as always. We appreciate your time.
All right, thanks a lot.
Jim DeMint here with the Morning